So I know I haven't made a video in a while. Really haven't been into talking too much and socializing or doing anything like that. So forgive me for not doing any updates or anything like that. It's just that time of year, I guess. But anyway, the reason I wanted to make this video today is I get on YouTube quite a lot and follow a lot of people out there. And as of late, ever since YouTube made the new rules that'll come out this month on the 11th, I think they said it would be, where if you're not going to make them any money, they'll get your ass booted. And I think they've hired more people straight out of college or maybe still going to college to monitor videos to see if you're saying anything wrong or if you're thinking wrong. And I've noticed a lot of people getting a timeout like children, you know. And I also see more and more where YouTube is trying to become like the cross between like Dish TV or Netflix or any of these sites that give you some type of entertainment or media. Dish TV or satellite TV, whatever the case may be. I almost know everybody that has kind of gotten away from them, have because there's basically junk on it. You're paying a lot of money every month to watch the Love Boat or Three's Company or stupid old shows that are of no interest to anybody, and people are getting tired of paying for it. Of course, the sports channels are still on if you go to a bar, pub, whatever you call it, and they've got games on the TV and everything. Now they're paying a high price for that, but ever since that whole sports thing has turned into a virtue signaling machine, a lot of people are getting turned off to that too. So basically, and I gave up on TV, over 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. I just canceled everything. I quit, and I've got enough on DVD and even VCR. All these tapes. I must have over 1,000 movies, so I can keep myself entertained, and then whatever I do on the internet. Not meaning that YouTube only, but I see that they're trying to go that route, and of course, if they it used to be that YouTube was where you could be edgy. It was a place to go to see different stuff than the mainstream media, television, whatever was, which was getting boring and junky. So, people came on here, and it was like the Wild West for a while. And certainly you didn't have to watch things just like on TV, turn the channel. But now they've become very controlling and very corporate, and, you can't speak your mind. They're shadow banning comments. I know they've done it to me because, as of late, I mean, I've never really been a deeply political person, but my God, with what's going on out there, you can't help but get caught up in it. And I've made a couple comments, and with the nuttiness of it all, and nobody's. I mean, the government has always been a frustrating thing to me. Period. Of how they waste our money, screw us over, and whatever. And I'm not trying to get political here, and I'm not taking a side. Although you can imagine what side I've taken these days, but it's gotten to the point where it's not much fun anymore. The information out there or the videos that are getting produced, anything that's interesting, they give people a timeout. Thought provoking or anything other than towing the line. towing the corporate line. And I don't work for fucking YouTube. I don't. I do these videos for the fun of it. I don't do it for money. I've never been monetized. I've never asked for money, and I never will. But I also wanted to mention that, if my channel ever disappears, which they're disappearing like crazy anyway, they want all the mainstream media on YouTube, which I don't know why. That's a losing proposition because it's on TV. If you wanted to watch that, why would you go to YouTube to watch it? It just doesn't make sense. So, the the whole thing is that more and more people are moving to BitChute, which of course is reasonable because you're allowed to talk there. You're allowed to speak your mind. You're not being censored, which after all is an American staple. That you can speak your mind, and of course I understand. You can say what you want. You have freedom of speech, and it does have repercussions. Somebody gets overly, or you push the issue too far, and you're going to get a bloody nose, right? So yeah, there are certain things in life that and look, I'm not proposing violence. I'm just saying the reality of the world is, if you piss people off, or a person off, they might lay you out, and that's just the way it is. So nobody wants to talk about things anymore, and you can't make people think a certain way. You can't say, all right, well, you're not allowed to say this, and this is wrong, or whatever. But yeah, okay, so you can't say it, but you're still thinking it. They're not going to change your thoughts, no matter how much. I'm too old to be indoctrinated. I've been around this goddamn block a few hundred times in my life. So I'm not going to change my mind on how I see things in my reality. My if you want to call it that, my metaphysics. My favorite word here is of late. I don't know why it keeps popping up, but anyway, the point being that, I think I'll put a link to my YouTube, my BitChute channel down below in the low bar, and that way if I disappear, well, everybody will know that's what happened. And I've said a whole shitload of videos back in the old days, when I was involved with the MGTOW thing, which was a long time ago, many years ago. I set all those videos to private. I haven't removed them. I haven't taken them down, hoping that one of these days YouTube will wake up to the reality of the situation of how people feel out here, because it's a small minority getting butthurt. It's not most people out here, and there's too many people out here that have brains, and of course politicians, corporations, they all think we're idiots, so they're going to tell us how to live, how to behave, how to talk, not going to happen. There's way too many intelligent people out there in the public, and there's some dumb ones, sure, no doubt about it, but it's not going to change how I think or how I talk. And of course, now you got to mention that this isn't for children on YouTube because of some crap that, how the fuck do they think if their rules say nobody under 13 can sign up? Of course, anybody can lie, right? You can claim to be whatever age you want. But, if there's no children allowed to come onto YouTube, why in the hell do I have to say this is not meant for children? I don't think any of my crap could ever be construed as geared for children to watch. This is just, bullshit. I don't play with puppets. I don't have little toys. I don't play with Star Wars shit or Star Trek or any of that crap. I'm not. I play with big boy toys. Harleys, cars, trucks, things like that. So, YouTube has gone off their rocker. And again, you know, if my channel disappears like a lot of others have, and I think after, yeah, go to BitChute. That's where I'll be. So I'm there anyway. But if I want to make content that's a little bit out there, I'll just put that video on BitChute, which a lot of people have been doing, and calling it exclusive video only on BitChute, because obviously you can't talk normally on YouTube. Anyway, I guess that's about all I have to say. It's so sad that it's gone this way, and I don't understand what their business model is, or of course that all your big TV stations, they have the money to invest in it, but if you're tired of it, let YouTube know, and don't be lazy. Set up a BitChute account. I think this is where it's going. This is where all the fun is going to be happening. And yeah, maybe there's going to be some raunchy, raw crap that you're not into, but again, you don't have to watch it. And BitChute is trying to get their act together. They're trying to get more money to be able to offer better searches, or things, better upload speeds and all this other stuff. So if you want to help them out, you can get into their little corner thing there to give a donation to help them out to make their business model more competitive, because there are a couple little problems there, as far as the search engine goes, and looking for stuff, and they still have to refine it, but they've done a good job right now, and they are I think the new game in town. So yeah, anyway, that's I guess where I wanted to go. Of course, all my shit gets long and rambly. Hang on. Still early here and cold. I've been out there playing ball with Rippy, and now I've got dry mouth. But the last one I knew, because I follow everybody that has a BitChute channel. I follow them on BitChute, and usually I'll watch it there instead of watching it on YouTube. So and then I go through all my recommended sites as well, and anything that I see that I don't like in there, let's say like Saturday Night Live, I don't care for their crap, so I'll put not interested. I get the three little dots, I hit that, and I put not interested, so they don't keep giving me these recommendations. And hopefully, that'll show up too, that people aren't interested in that type of what do you call it, content. So people, get on the ball, man. Things are going to be happening here. I think YouTube's going to be sneaking in slowly after the new rules come into effect. They're slowly going to roll that in to where, well, you're not making us enough money, or you're inciting hate, or inciting violence, or hate speech, or whatever, all these nebulous terms are. What might be hate speech to one person is not hate speech to another. So where is this etched in stone? Who came down off the mountain with the two, this is the way things are going to be now? Yep, fuck off. That's the way I look at it. Fuck right off. Leave me alone with your shit. Live your life the way you want to live it. But don't tell me how the fuck to live mine. And I'm not going to subjugate myself to you people because you think you have control of the entire internet, which you don't. So, and anyway, I know how to live without the internet. I wasn't raised with this shit. I didn't have a little phone in my hand. I still don't. This is the only phone I got right here. It's an old flip phone. I pay for minutes every 3 months, like $20. It doesn't get the internet. It doesn't do anything. I'm not going to spend and waste a lot of money on an expensive little garbage thing that takes, you know, takes my, uh, what do you call it? My awareness away. Because my head's always been on a swivel all my life. It's just a paranoid thing. But being that concentrated all the time and walking into traffic or walking into a telephone pole or whatever these crazy things are that I've seen, I don't care to be part of it, and I never have been. So to me, this is something that I don't even turn on unless I need to call a tow truck or maybe the doctor, whatever, something like that. So I never even turn this fucker on. I don't need it. I don't need the internet, and I can live happily without it. Just like I went from Windows to Linux because I got tired of that spyware that Windows calls an operating system. So I can live without Windows, and whatever happens in the future happens. So I feel sorry for all these kids that were raised with us and just can't make any heads or tails uh, of how to go on in life without their uh, tech. Their, I mean, God, and it's so silly. You see these damn, the future. The like everything in your house is going to be all cool. You got Alexia or whatever things you talk to that are constantly listening to you, spying on everything you're doing at home. That's crazy. Then they show things like the Roomba, that little vacuum robot. I got two of them. Well, yeah, that looks all promising. Oh, look, you got this thing that cleans your floors, man. You don't have to do shit. Well, let me tell you something. You got to clean that thing out every time you use it. You got to go out there. You got to clean the little basket out. You got to clean the filter out. Now, I got pressurized air that I use to do it, so it's quick for me. But if you don't have that, you're wasting a good 10, 15 minutes cleaning up this little basket. So basically, what's the deal here? The future isn't quite as, up there as people would like to believe. And becoming this reliant on it and this total lack of feeling that you're being spied on. I unplug my cameras when I'm not using them. I've got the tape over the camera on my laptops. Of course, if they can turn the camera on, they can turn the microphone on. So all these new tech things, I can live without, and I'm always aware of them too. So anyway, besides all the YouTube shit and everything, I guess I get off topic here quite a bit, but people, we gotta keep up with who's trying to run your life and how to run it. And if people like being told what to do and how to think and what to watch by a huge corporation, and if you enjoy that, which I don't like being told what the fuck to do, and then cool, be lazy, stay there, be a good little sheep, and do as you're told. So anyway, all right, I think that's enough for me. I don't know where this is all going, but I did want to mention that, yeah, BitChute will be where you can find me, where you can get a hold of me, and of course, as always, if somebody wants to talk to me or whatever, I'm on Skype, same name, Warhorse, 2 words, same icon actually. So you can always put in a request to Skype, which will shoot through to me, and I can either take it or deny it. And I'm usually willing to talk to almost anybody. So if it gets down to that, you can always get in touch with me that way to see if I'm even still alive. At this age, every day is a question. And yeah, that's it, I guess. So really not much else to talk about. I'm not going to get into the political environment right now, which, yeah, I mean, I've heard it enough times now. Clown world is pretty much a description for it. And, it's not so much a clown world and all the crap that they're pulling with each other up there on Capitol Hill in America, of course. It's the money they're wasting and how much good that money can do instead of all these, what's going on now with this impeachment nonsense. Um, you know, that money that these people are wasting, which is our tax money, right? Money we've paid in. In my case, I've paid in for, holy fuck, like 45 years of working or more, maybe 50 years. No, not quite 50, but anyway, about 45 years of working, paying taxes in all the time, paying into Social Security. And, them taking my money and then doing this kind of crap with it, wasting it, while we got homeless people, we have no homeless shelter for men at all. I think there's one in the U.S. Uh, we've got people starving. We got, I mean, all these things could be rectified. We got cities that are falling apart. We got an infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, things in this country that need to be taken care of. And they're up there, you know, having a circle jerk and a pissing contest. I mean, it just staggers my mind that the government can get away with this kind of crap. But they do, and they always have. That's why, every time they tell you Social Security is going to go broke, well, that's because years and years ago, there was such a surplus of it, okay? And a lot of the boomers that were paying in, well, a lot of them died, and I know a whole crap load personally that died before they ever collected 1 red cent of a lifetime of working. And these people were in their late 50s, mid 50s, have all died and never got a cent of it. So there was a big surplus and they were betting on it. And what they did is the government took out money out of Social Security for other sweetheart deals, put in an IOU, little paper IOU, $2 trillion, here you go. Well, that asshole that put the IOU in, they're no longer in office or anything. You can't hold anybody responsible. So it's not that, the people that paid in who are collecting it are getting money that isn't theirs. It is theirs. This is a deal that the government made with the people. Under duress, may I add. You don't have a choice but to pay into Social Security. So they took all this money out for the sweetheart deals, and then they say, it's because all the boomers now, they're getting that money and everything. Well, what a fucking surprise. Why do you think we were called boomers? Because it was a population boom. So what did they think? All these people are going to die like a couple days before ever collecting? Or they wouldn't collect? I don't know. This doesn't make any goddamn sense. But the money is gone, and us older people aren't the ones sucking it dry. The politicians did that. So, a lot of people blame boomers for everything. And look, there's a lot of reasons to blame boomers, and there's a lot of reason to blame my forefathers or, the older generation for things too. And I see a lot of the young kids crying and weeping and moaning and pissing. We ruined everything for them. Yeah, because somebody isn't giving you shit all the time. Grow a set, man. Woman up, man up, whatever you want to call it. We had to. And it was by no means easy back then. When I started working, it sucked, let me tell you. And you didn't make jack shit for money. Jobs weren't abundant, You didn't move out of the house at 18 and went out and bought your own house. And this is what people seem to think, that, oh yeah, us boomers had it so good. Fuck right off. We didn't have it that good. And definitely not the way you think we had it. It was a relatively rough time. We didn't have all these things that we have now, to make life better. Matter of fact, I grew up without a microwave. Hey, Come on. Anyway, all right. I'm going to get off my soapbox here. I know this is probably running way too long, and I guess it'll take me a couple hours to upload it. So anyway, all right, people, I've said my piece. Remember, BitChute is probably where we're going to have to go, and you know, don't be lazy about it. Go ahead and get your get your accounts set up over there, especially for content producers, because it, you know, the writing's on the wall, people. It's on the wall. And I don't like this commie attitude any better than anybody else does, but it's something we got to live with, and we will overcome it because we're smarter than they think we are. So, have a great day, and if I don't talk to you before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, all that jazz. And Rippy and I will talk to you later then. Adios, people.